The clock struck 10 a.m. on October 3, 2025, in the hallowed halls of Manhattan's federal courthouse, where the air hung heavy with anticipation and dread. Sean Combs, once the untouchable kingpin of hip-hop, the man who turned beats into billions, stood shackled before Judge Arun Subramanian, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the orange jumpsuit he'd worn in detention. The courtroom, packed with reporters, celebrities in disguise, and tear-streaked family members, fell into a hushed silence as the gavel echoed like a death knell. "Mr. Combs," the judge intoned, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade, "for your crimes of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution, in violation of the Mann Act, this court sentences you to 50 months in federal prison." Gasps rippled through the gallery. Combs's face, usually a mask of charisma, crumpled in disbelief. More than 4 years behind bars is a shattering blow to a man who had built an empire in excess, only to see it crumble under the weight of his own dark secrets. This was no mere celebrity scandal. It was a true crime epic of power corrupted, lives destroyed, and a reckoning that exposed the rotten core of fame's glittering facade. As we journey through this true crime mystery, tap the like button and subscribe to our channel. You won't want to miss a single twist as we unravel what really comes next. To grasp the full horror of Combs's fall, we must journey back to the gritty streets of Harlem in 1969, where a boy named Sean John Combs was born into a world of promise and peril. His father, Melvin, a hustler with ties to the infamous drug lord Frank Lucas, was gunned down in a hail of bullets when Sean was just 3, leaving a void that would echo through his life. Raised by his mother, Janice, a model and teacher, young Sean hustled odd jobs delivering newspapers, pumping gas dreaming of escape. He briefly attended Howard University, immersing himself in the vibrant black culture, but ambition pulled him away. Landing an internship at Uptown Records in 1990, Combs's star rose meteorically. He discovered talents like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci, but his aggressive style got him fired in 1993. Undeterred, he founded Bad Boy Records, a label that would redefine hip-hop with raw, street-smart anthems. The 1990s were Combs's golden era, a whirlwind of hits and headlines. As Puff Daddy, he dropped "Can't Nobody Hold Me Down," topping charts for weeks, followed by the Grammy-winning "I'll Be Missing You," a tribute to his slain protege, the notorious B.I.G. Biggie's 1997 murder in a drive-by shooting. Amid the East-West rap feud cast a long shadow, with rumors swirling of Combs's involvement, though never proven. He rebranded as P. Diddy, expanding into fashion with Sean John, earning acclaim at the Council of Fashion Designers of America Awards, and spirits with Ciroc vodka, turning it into a $100 million brand. By the 2000s, his net worth soared past $1 billion, rubbing shoulders with moguls like Jay-Z and Oprah. But beneath the yachts, the white parties in the Hamptons, and the lavish lifestyle, cracks were forming, whispers of violence, control, and a predatory hunger that preyed on the vulnerable. The first public fissures appeared in 1991, at a charity basketball game Combs organized at City College of New York. What started as a feel-good event descended into chaos. Oversold tickets led to a deadly stampede, crushing 9 people to death and injuring dozens more. Combs escaped charges, but survivors' screams haunted the headlines, a grim prelude to the tragedies ahead. Then came the 1999 nightclub shooting at Club New York, where Combs, then dating Jennifer Lopez, and rapper Shine were embroiled in a brawl that left 3 wounded. Bullets flew, Lopez fled in tears. Combs was acquitted after a high-profile trial, but Shine took the fall, serving nearly 9 years. It was like watching a king evade the guillotine, one juror later anonymously confessed, hinting at the aura of invincibility that shielded him. Yet, the true unraveling began on November 16, 2023, with a lawsuit that exploded like a bombshell in the dead of night. Cassie Ventura, the ethereal singer Combs had signed to Bad Boy at 19, while he was 37, filed a 35-page complaint in federal court, unleashing a torrent of allegations that would drown his legacy. Ventura painted a nightmarish portrait, a decade of physical beatings, sexual assaults, and psychological torment. She described being plied with ecstasy and ketamine, forced into freak-offs orgies orchestrated in opulent hotel suites across New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and beyond. These weren't consensual romps, they were scripted horrors where Ventura was compelled to perform with male prostitutes, their bodies oiled and ready, while Combs directed from the shadows, camera in hand, masturbating to the spectacle. He controlled every breath I took, Ventura alleged, her words dripping with raw pain. One chilling episode. In 2012, jealous of her friendship with rapper Kid Cudi, Combs allegedly bombed Cudi's car in a fiery explosion that could have killed innocents. The suit detailed a 2016 assault at the Intercontinental Century City in Los Angeles, captured on grainy surveillance footage that would later become the prosecution's smoking gun. In the video, a towel-clad Combs chases Ventura down a hallway, grabs her by the neck, slams her to the ground, kicks her viciously, and drags her back to the room like discarded luggage. "I thought I was going to die," Ventura wrote. The lawsuit settled the next day for an undisclosed sum rumored at $30 million, but the seal was broken. Social media erupted. #Diddy Did It trended worldwide. Former employees and artists whispered of a culture of fear at Bad Boy, where dissent meant exile. As if summoned by the storm, more victims emerged from the darkness. In December 2023, Joy Dickerson-Neal sued, claiming Combs drugged and raped her in 1991 while she was a Syracuse University student, filming the assault without consent. Liza Gardner alleged a similar horror that same year, involving Combs and singer Aaron Hall. By February 2024, producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones filed a $30 million suit, accusing Combs of groping him, forcing him to procure sex workers, and boasting of shooting people. Jones claimed to have witnessed freak-offs stocked with drugs, guns, and hidden cameras, where women were lured with promises of stardom only to be trapped in a cycle of abuse. "It was like a modern-day harem of horrors," Jones testified later, his voice trembling. The federal hammer fell on March 25, 2024, in a scene straight out of a thriller. Heavily armed Homeland Security agents stormed Combs's sprawling mansions in Los Angeles and Miami, helicopters thundering overhead, doors battered down. Inside, they uncovered a trove of depravity: AR-15 rifles with defaced serial numbers, narcotics including ecstasy and ketamine, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, allegedly tools for the freak-offs. Electronic devices seized revealed videos of the events, some showing drugged participants barely conscious. Combs, vacationing in Miami, watched in horror via security feeds as his world was ransacked. "This is a witch hunt," he raged on social media, but the raid signaled the endgame. 6 months later, on September 16, 2024, the net tightened. Combs was arrested at a luxury Manhattan hotel, yanked from his suite in handcuffs as flashbulbs popped like gunfire. The indictment, unsealed the next day, was a 14-page manifesto of monstrosity: charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation for prostitution. Prosecutors dubbed it the Combs Enterprise, a criminal syndicate where Combs and his enablers, bodyguards, assistants, even label execs lured women with fame's allure, then ensnared them in abuse. The Mann Act violations centered on flying victims and sex workers interstate for freak-offs, echoing the law's origins in combating exploitation. For decades, Sean Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, the indictment thundered. Detained at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, a grim fortress known for its brutality, Combs was denied bail thrice, judges citing his private jets and $50 million bond offers as flight risks. Inside, he reportedly spiraled, detoxing from drugs, attending therapy, even teaching inmates life lessons in a makeshift class called Free Game with Diddy. Supporters flooded the court with letters of his 7 children pleading for mercy, Jay-Z calling him a brother reformed. But victims' voices drowned them out. Over 120 lawsuits piled up, including one from a woman claiming Combs raped her at 13 in 2000, during a Video Music Awards after-party. The trial, commencing May 5, 2025, was a spectacle of Shakespearean proportions, unfolding over 8 grueling weeks in a courtroom transformed into a battlefield. Judge Subramanian, a no-nonsense arbiter, barred cameras but couldn't stop leaks. Prosecutors, spearheaded by the fierce Christy Slavic, opened with the 2016 video, projecting it on massive screens. Combs's rage-fueled assault on Ventura played in slow motion, her cries audible in the audio enhancement. The gallery recoiled. One juror wept. Ventura took the stand, her testimony a heart-wrenching soliloquy. "He beat me until I blacked out, forced me into acts that shattered my soul," she said, detailing freak-offs where she was passed around like a toy. Cross-examination was brutal. Defense attorneys Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos grilled her on the settlement, implying greed, but Ventura held firm, her eyes locking on Combs, who averted his gaze. Witness after witness paraded horrors. Jane Doe, a former dancer, recounted being flown from Detroit to New York for a 2015 freak-off, drugged with GHB, and coerced into sex while Combs filmed. "I begged to leave, but he said, 'You're mine now,'" she sobbed. Male escorts, faces blurred in court sketches, testified to being recruited via apps, paid $5,000 per session, and quizzed on police affiliations. Lil Rod Jones described walking in on Combs with celebrities' names redacted, but rumored to include Usher and Cuba Gooding Jr. amid piles of cocaine and naked bodies. Defense countered with character witnesses. Combs's ex Misa Hilton praised his fatherhood. His son Justin spoke of charity work, like founding Capital Preparatory Harlem School. Combs opted not to testify, a risky gambit. Instead, his team screened a montage. Combs dancing with kids, mourning Kim Porter's 2018 death from pneumonia, a loss that broke him, they argued. They painted the freak-offs as consensual adult fun, the Mann Act as a racist relic, weaponized against a black icon. "This is not trafficking, it's lifestyle," Agnifilo boomed. But evidence mounted, texts from victims pleading for escape, medical records of bruises and STDs, even a 1998 audio of Combs bragging, "I got girls in every city." Deliberations dragged for 5 days, jurors sequestered amid death threats. On July 25, 2025, the verdict crashed down. Guilty on 2 Mann Act counts for transporting Ventura and Jane Doe, but acquitted on racketeering and trafficking. Cheers and jeers erupted. Combs slumped, whispering prayers. Guidelines pegged 70 to 87 months, but prosecutors demanded 135, branding him a serial abuser. Sentencing day, October 3rd, was electric. Combs entered, flanked by family, his mother clutching a Bible. Victim statements gutted the room. Ventura wrote of nightmares, his shadow looms eternal. Jane Doe feared assassination. Others detailed suicides attempted. Combs addressed the court, voice cracking. "I lost my way in the darkness of fame. That video haunts me. I was a monster." But Slavic skewered him. Remorse? He partied while the victims suffered. Defense begged leniency, citing averages of months, not years, for similar crimes. Judge Subramanian, after a pregnant pause, delivered the blow. 50 months, plus supervised release, therapy mandates, and no contact with victims. "Your power amplified your crimes," he declared. Combs was led away, the clang of chains a final dirge. Outside, protesters clashed, some hailing justice, others decrying a lynching. The aftermath? Combs's empire lies in ruins. Bad boys sold for scraps, Ciroc dropped him, Howard University revoked honors. Hip-hop reels, with artists like 50 Cent mocking, others like Nicki Minaj silent in fear. Victims find solace in therapy funds from settlements, but scars remain. This true crime saga warns, behind the beats and bling, monsters lurk, and justice, though delayed, can strike with thunderous force. In the end, Sean Combs's story is a tragedy of hubris, a cautionary tale etched in the annals of infamy.